This is From Justin to Kane, a podcast where Mike Robertson and Bob LaRue watch one critically acclaimed film and one terrible film and talk about how they are the same. So, I mean, Wonder Woman is like what it is, but there's one shot that is so off-putting, and it's when she uses her lasso to swoop those kids, like Tarzan swoops in to get the kids, and then you can just see her rolling with two dolls on the road.
I know, yeah.
That was, I mean, they had a lot of money. They paid Gal Gadot $10 million.
Wow.
Guess how much she made in the first movie?
Probably like $1 million or fewer than that. Maybe
300,000.
Wow.
That's a big difference, isn't it?
Was there a big budget difference?
No.
Okay.
Not really. No. But the first movie is the highest grossing film ever made directed by a woman, and then the second movie didn't even break even because COVID fucked up its theatrical release. So the revenue, but it's the most watched VOD film
ever?
I think so.
Or did it get beat by Justice League? I think it did.
Oh, or Trolls World Tour.
Yeah.
Anywho, let's hey everybody, welcome to From Justin to Kane.
Jeez.
Just terrible. Really dodgy start here, folks. But thanks for joining us on From Justin to Kane. I'm Bob.
And I am Mike.
Mike, what are the two films this week?
Yeah, so Bob already kind of started talking about it. Wonder Woman 1984, which came out in 2020.
Yes.
And then a film...
The Year of Our Lord.
That's right, yep. And then a film called The Favorite, which came out in 2018.
Wow, they almost came out in the same year, but they didn't by 2 years. Yeah. Is that a similarity?
No. I mean, if a film comes out in the same decade, I wouldn't call it a similarity.
Well, touche, Mike. Touche.
But yeah, so those are the two movies. One of them's bad, Wonder Woman 1984, and one of them is very good, which is The Favorite. So
yeah, I have to say, like, it was directed by Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yeah, Yorgos.
And I have to say, I find his films quite off-putting at times, and I couldn't even finish The Lobster. I saw
really?
Killing of a Sacred Deer, and I wish I hadn't. But this film, I had a good time.
Oh, it was fun.
I find The Favorite is like his most fun movie and the least disturbing.
Yeah.
But the scene with Olivia Colman eating cake and then vomiting immediately and then eating more cake is so funny and gross at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's such a well-done scene.
Yeah. I love The Lobster. I think The Lobster is just so fun and silly.
Yeah. I think I just get too into it, and then I'm so viscerally disturbed by the whole scenario.
Well, you love romance in movies, and so when romance in a movie is also combined with a character having to choose what animal they turn into, otherwise they get hunted.
Yeah.
I think that can be kind of off-putting and kind of scramble your brain a little bit.
Yeah, I think, I'm wired differently. Wonder Woman 84, really, really nice, heartbreaking romance, but then it's all for naught because she wished for it and he had already been dead for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like. I don't like, The Lobster, I don't know. That's a disturbing film. In a funny way. I understand the funniness of it objectively, but while watching it, I'm uncomfortable.
Well, then don't watch Dogtooth.
Is that a Yorgos Lanthimos film?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
what's it about?
It's one of his Greek movies, so it's all in Greek. It's about a family that kind of traps their kids in a house and keeps them separated from the rest of society. And so there's just some twisted scenes in it involving sex, and I think there's someone does some dental work in it as well.
Are we talking like incest or what?
It's been a while since I saw it, but I think so, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. I'll probably never watch it.
It's good, though. It's really fun. and also disturbing and dark. That's the thing. His movies are
Mike.
all of those things.
Yeah, it's true.
'Cause
But
this-
I do think
The favorite
he
is
leaned-
disturbing.
Yeah, but he leaned more into like the bit on
A little bit.
The favorite, I think. Like it's just more it feels more self-aware.
Yeah.
Like Killing of a Sacred Deer is just like really upsetting the whole time and it's super heavy tonally, but like the concept is kind of funny. But
Yeah, it is. It's similar to The Lobster in that there's like a weird magic kind of going about.
yeah, like a rule is imparted on the main character and you just have to oblige it.
Not unlike Wonder Woman 1984 with
Yes.
the whole monkey's paw situation.
Yes, exactly. Let's contextualize these movies, huh?
Sure, yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, sure.
Let's
Yeah.
get into it. This feels over. Okay, let's get into it. Let's start
We
with
got to get merch that says this feels over. And it has a picture of you like standing opposite of a woman. And there's a tear rolling down your cheek. You're being broken up with.
If it's the cover of When Harry Met Sally, so it's like, fall under fall trees and it's Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, but it's me and not Meg Ryan, someone else. This feels over. It's you. It would be you, Mike. You're breaking up with me.
Yeah.
Like we do every week. I break up with you every week when we stop recording.
Yeah. And then immediately the Zoom call ends and we just don't talk to each other. And then
For
somehow we know
7
what movie
days.
to talk about the next week.
Yeah. Just for everyone at home, we're at a level now where we don't even talk about the films beforehand. We just go on Zoom and it's like, what's the bad movie? What's the good movie? Oh, yeah, we've already watched it because we're so in tune with each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like a superpower.
But we need to break up because we need to see other podcast people. I don't know. Is this tracking anymore? I don't think so.
I don't know. Okay, fuck it. Let's talk about The Favorite first.
Sure. Yeah. So The Favorite came out in 2018.
Oh, you know what? Really quick. The Favorite, FAVORITE? O-U-R. Oh, good,
Yeah, it
good.
has
It's spelled the way
English
I like it.
/ Canadian spelling.
Good. Okay, I just want to confirm that. 'Cause
I
that's
didn't
the way
look
I
into
like
whether
it.
it was spelled that way in the States. I think it was spelled the
O-R?
O-U-R in the States
Oh.
as well.
Okay, I guess because it would be a European film,
Yeah,
even though it's
about
like.
Europeans, yeah.
Okay, continue.
So it came out in 2018. It is a black comedy. It's a period piece.
Hey, for similarity, both period pieces.
Yes, both period pieces.
Yeah,
And both also do not commit fully to the period.
Oh, 100%. Well
Yeah,
said, actually. I
because
didn't even
in-
think about that.
Spoiler alert. We're already jumping into similarities even before I even finish off one fact about the film. But yeah, there's no 1980s songs in Wonder Woman 1984. Like, I don't
But
think there's
Hans
a single
Zimmer
song.
was alive in 1984, and I'm sure he wrote a song in 1984. So
Okay.
by proxy, I would say there was a song. Huh?
Yeah, sure. So
Is that a week? It's 2 weeks. Yeah.
No. That's good. And then,
Just trying.
yeah, also Hans Zimmer. I think he was a little overwrought in this movie, don't you think?
Big time. So actually, I have a fact for you, Mike.
Okay, wow, jumping
Okay.
into
I love
your
how we're
facts.
talking about The Favorite, and I'm just taking it over.
You're,
and talking about my
we
movie.
talk about The Favorite, then we talk about a similarity, and then that transitions into you just starting and talking about your context.
No, because no. I'll just do one quick fact.
This
So Hans
episode is
Zimmer-
meta because we're like The Favorite. We're just both clamoring for power. I guess both movies are about characters clamoring for power. Another similarity.
Yeah, I had that one written down. Nice work there,
Nice
Mike.
work, nice work.
We're going to get the similarities out before we even finish, talking about the movies.
That's fine.
So Hans Zimmer retired from superhero movies officially in
As one
2015. And then immediately did like 6 in a row. Every single DC film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he like went out and said, I retire. And then he did Superman versus Batman and Justice League and Wonder Woman, the first one, and Wonder Woman 84.
Hmm.
And I think one more, maybe.
I'm sure
both Justice Leagues.
Yeah, but this one felt very phoned in, so I feel like he kind
did
of
phone
has
it in.
like a Flintstone dinosaur being used as a tool kind of attitude. Like he's like looks at the camera when he's composing and says, "It's a living." The people at home missed the visual of me pretending to conduct a orchestra,
Waving
and then looking at the camera,
baton or whatever the hell you'd call that, a stick. Yeah. Anyways,
the tune wand.
Tune wand. Yes. Okay, let's talk about the favorite.
So yeah, set in 19. Wait, no, not set in 19 anything. It was set in 18th century Britain.
Yes,
and it is a quasi-factual examination of the life of Queen Anne and her relationship with this character named Sarah Churchill, who is a distant relative of Winston.
I was just going to ask. Winston Churchill's relative.
Yeah.
By many generations.
But in the movie, they call her Marlborough because she became the Duchess of Marlborough eventually after the events of this film. So they just kind of scrambled the timeline. Well, and then there's another character named Abigail, played by Emma Stone. And they're both wanting to become the titular favorite.
Super titular. Maybe another similarity, Mike, is both titles are really on the nose.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'd say both titles are super titular.
Oh, incredibly titular, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've gotten some complaints that we say titular too much, but damn it, there's too many titular films and titular characters in those titular films. So
our t-shirts would say, "This feels over," and then just titular in quotes. That's our merch.
But the titular ones are just ladies' tees. And it's just like a wink kind of. Yeah, we're funny. Just being a little bit. We're being a little bit of a couple of little stinkers, you know.
Yeah, a couple of nasty guys. All right, continue.
Anyway, The Favorite, a period film, was a box office success. Kind of a surprise, I think, for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It only cost $15 million to make, and
what?
And it grossed
for real
almost $100 million.
Wow!
So pretty good, pretty good. Also,
$15 million for a period film is amazing.
I mean, I guess what they pretty much just have the buildings. They just have to get in the buildings, and if they can do that for free or cheap, if once you got the building, like that really sells a lot of the movie.
That's true.
Anyway, the movie was also a awards favorite. Wink, wink. Because
who are you winking at?
Everybody listening to this. Here's a little wink for you. Wink.
Thank you. Wink.
You can have some of it, Bob. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Wow, that's so nice.
A shirt of me just winking. And there's no context for it except for this one very specific episode. And people are like, I don't know if that's worthy of merch.
Yeah, I think you can make anything into merch.
I know.
Anyways, It was an awards favorite.
Yeah, so thank you for getting me back on track. So the film did win some Oscars.
Which ones?
Actually, I think it just won Best Actress at the Academy Awards for Olivia Colman. But it was nominated for lots. I think it was nominated for 10. And all three actresses were nominated for Best something or other. So Best Actress or Best Supporting Actresses. Actri?
Can you wait a minute? In a movie, you can't have two people in the same category from the same movie.
You damn well can, yeah. In this last year, Judah and the Black Messiah, they had Lakeith Stanfield and Daniel Kaluuya both nominated for Best Supporting Actor in a movie that clearly has one character being like the main. I mean, they both support each other, but they should have just made a call and said this guy's Best Actor, this one's Best Supporting, because
and then they could have both won.
Yeah, exactly. They both could have won.
That is stupid. I don't know. I thought I read somewhere that you couldn't have two people in the same category from the same movie, and that's why, like some role, like some nominations in the past would be like Best Supporting Actor, and it's like, really? No, they were the main character, but it's like to divvy out more awards or whatever.
I think they just rather than just adding more people to the nominations for one of the categories, they decided to just say, you know what? We thought both of these guys did great, but we're not going to give one of them the dignity of being an actor. They're both supporting.
Right. And how do you spell actor? Is it T-O-U-R or T-O-R?
T-O-R. Actor.
Okay, actor.
It's not A-C-T-E-R, actor.
Actor. Continue.
Great. So anyway, yeah, Coleman was nominated for Best Actress at the Academy Awards, as well as the Golden Globes and the BAFTAs.
Oh, wow.
And
Triple
it
threat.
also won a bunch of European Film Awards, including Best Film Director and also Best Actress for Coleman. So there you go. She raked it in.
Wow. I mean, really, she was crushing it before, but this movie, she was so good in it.
Yeah, she's one of those actors who, when you saw this movie, you're like, wow, that lady's really great. And then you realize you've seen her in probably a million things.
Yes. Well, she was a character actor for a long time, right? And then now she's a lead. So that's kind of an interesting change.
Yeah, I think she worked with like the Mitchell and Webb guys. She does a lot of British comedy stuff, like sketch stuff.
Right.
And then also Edgar Wright, because she was in Hot Fuzz.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Anyway, the screenwriter, fun fact, her name was Deborah Davis. She wrote this movie in the late 90s, and she studied screenwriting at night school, so she had never written a script before, and then she wrote this. And I don't know why it took them so long to get it made, but eventually it did get made, and Tony McNamara kind of came in and punched up the script, and that was Lanthimos's Yorgos, we'll call him just going forward. Yorgos's
Yorgy.
Yorgy.
I bet he'll listen to this and be like, I hate those guys. How dare they give me a nickname?
So anyway, yeah, Yorgy loved the script for a TV show called The Great, also about royalty.
Yeah.
That Tony McNamara wrote. So he was like, why don't you work on The Favorite and make it better? And it turned out to be a pretty good script, as we all saw from watching the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
The facts about the three-way relationship between the three ladies is actually fairly well known.
By who?
I guess there's a lot of books that kind of cover it. So apparently it was a very easy story to research, even though they kind of made up a lot of the facts, regardless of the fact that they kind of know a lot about it. Even Winston Churchill talks about it in his biography. And Olivia Colman and Rachel Weisz has both worked with Yorgos before. They're both in The Lobster.
Olivia Colman's in The Lobster?
Yeah, she plays like a...
Oh, she's the boss, right?
She's like one of the boss ladies.
Right, right.
And then Rachel Weisz is the...
female lead.
Female lead, yeah, you can call it that.
Yeah.
Bob, I feel like you appreciate how the movie uses wide-angle lenses and fisheye lenses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, shot by Robbie Ryan.
Yeah, that was like a dynamic and kind of, I guess, unique part of the film. Mm-hmm. You don't see fisheye lenses used like that commonly. And they use it a lot.
Especially for non-bits. Like, it was just used for coverage, which is like crazy.
Yeah, but I read an interview with the camera dude, and he said they liked doing that because the spaces were so huge and they wanted to be able to just show you the whole entire room at once sometimes.
Right.
But then also it makes the characters look small in this giant space.
And they're all sort of warped, like all the distortion from those really wide lenses sort of lend themselves to how disorienting the movie kind of is.
Yeah, it does kind of set up the vibe, if I can, of the film early on.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great scenes early with like the staff sort of working, and they're just all in the frame working, and it's very compelling to watch. It's great.
A couple more things. Oh, I read about the acting process for the film. Apparently, Yorgos is a really quirky director. I don't know if you could tell.
Really?
Yeah, he's a bit of a pixie dream director.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's his vibe? Like, what's he all about?
So supposedly he'd basically just kind of get the actors to do funny stunts or weird actions that have nothing to do with the script. So he'd get them to like kind of, basically do contact improv, like tie themselves in knots, just kind of jump around like just monkeys and stuff, and then say the dialogue very seriously, like as if they were acting it, but just they really disconnect their body from the dialogue.
Yeah, sounds really playful. Wow.
Yeah. So basically apparently the idea was that you just kind of do these things so that you kind of stop thinking about what your lines mean. And I think that if you watch his movies, the characters deliver dialogue in a very interesting kind of dry way.
Mm-hmm.
They're not they're not acting way too hard. So I think just kind of saying these lines in a way that isn't way too emotional, overwrought, I think is kind of what he's going for. And it doesn't really play as much in this movie, but in The Lobster, for sure, that's like part of the charm and part of why it's funny, I think.
Mm-hmm. But also, it lends itself to the disturbingness because there's like a dissonance between the subject matter and the behavior and tonality of the films sort of clash in a really unique way that only he can achieve.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense. Oh, yeah, I was curious about how he would like conduct a set and work with actors to sort of... Because he's walking a really thin line.
Yeah.
Constantly. He's just threading this really, really little sort of thin needle of tone, which is hard to maintain. And he does it in all of his films.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. And as I mentioned, he's on record saying that he wasn't concerned about facts or getting a thing 100% right. He just wanted things to kind of be fun. And he wanted to kind of portray... specific quote unquote vibes. Not his quote, that's just me. But yeah. He's all about vibes.
Quote unquote vibes, not his quote.
But I'm quoted, I just don't want to say vibes. You know what? I'm going to take that back because, grammar wise, you're not supposed to use quotation marks for emphasis. That's like just a rule.
Yeah. And
it's
you know
sloppy.
What? You are a bit of a grammar guy. You're very vindictive about grammar sometimes.
Yes.
And punctuation. I've made some glaring errors on this podcast and you do not let me live it down.
So I'm going to say it's all about italicized vibes. There we go. Vibes.
Wow. You really emphasize the shit out of those vibes.
Yeah.
Vibes, VIBEZ.
Of course. You got to spell it that way.
Vibes. Yeah, very good. Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, so he wasn't super concerned about historical accuracy, and I would say Wonder Woman is the same
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great similarity. So they're both period films, but they both have glaring errors. Oh, actually, there's a fun error in Wonder Woman 84. In the arcade in the shopping mall in the opening of the film, during that action scene with the heist, there is a shot of a video game in the arcade that did not come out till 1985.
Oh, really?
I forget the name of the game, but, that's a glaring error, Patty Jenkins.
Yeah, I mean, you fool.
Also, I guess you could say both of these directors have seemingly unique sort of careers.
Go on.
So Yorgos Lanthimos has I would say his career is unique in that he's sort of, he only makes what he wants to make.
Yeah.
And he has a very personal style that no one could replicate. Patty Jenkins, not so much, but her career is interesting. She was like a camera assistant for 10 years and then went to AFI, wrote Monster, made Monster. That was a huge hit. She directed one episode of television each year for like 10 years before she got Wonder Woman.
Really? What TV shows did she do?
She, I have them here written down. Let me
I'm not
tell
done
you.
my facts, by the way. I'm not done my facts, by the way.
You're not done your facts?
No.
I know. I just was tired of listening to you, Mike.
I could see your eyes glazing over, and you just started lighting up a doob and just kind of like smoking weed out of boredom.
Cracking a huge beer. No, we'll go back to you, but she did an episode of Arrested Development, Entourage, The Killing, two other miniseries that I can't remember, and then she did Wonder Woman.
Wow.
So she made Monster in like 2003 or something.
Yeah, that's right.
And then made one episode of television each year for like 10 years. And then she did a bunch of commercials and stuff, but she didn't do much in the narrative world. And then she has these huge projects coming out.
Is it because she couldn't get movies that she was interested in getting made? So she just kind of was like, whatever, I'll do a superhero movie, I guess. Because it's easy
No,
to get that made because that's pretty much the only movies they make these days.
I'm not sure what the trajectory is or like the intention. She seems stoked on Wonder Woman.
Okay. Yeah, well, I
But
guess
she
I
has
just
Wonder
assumed...
Woman 3, Cleopatra, and a Star Wars movie all coming out.
Oh, well, I mean, there you go.
She's like, she went from making like one like episode of television to like just tentpole after tentpole.
Yeah, well, the thing is, women directors are not as common in Hollywood. They're not as common in
Anywhere.
feature films.
Yeah, totally.
There's more women directors in TV.
That's right. Actually, that's a great observation.
So they just kind of get relegated to television for some reason. Not that television is bad, because it's basically like long form movies nowadays, but
well, now it is, but it wasn't for a long time.
yeah. So, but now it's kind of good. It's good that, you know, finally in 20 years into the 21st century, there's, 130 odd years after the creation of film, women are getting to direct with greater frequency.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also
bigger
like
projects.
Yeah. And female focused films as well.
Yeah.
Getting like, now they're like, oh, we should actually give it to a woman so that there's, that we're not sexualizing Wonder Woman every 5 seconds, like in the Joss Whedon directed one. Justice League. Justin League.
Anyways, continue. Sorry, I just wanted to point out they're both unique directors.
Very good, yeah. And
yeah. That's not a similarity, it's just a digression.
Well, no, they are. It is a similarity because they both are kind of unique directors who kind of were doing their own thing and then sold out a little bit. Like, I would say this movie is Yorgos kind of playing it pretty safe.
Right.
So,
and working with sort of only notable actors. There's a lot of heavy hitters in this movie.
Yeah, so these are both kind of playing it safe, except the turns out the favorite actually turned out to be a critical darling. Wonder Woman unfortunately did not, but that's fine. Anyway, I didn't have much more to say in terms of facts, except that the music in the favorite is kind of interesting because it's all just classical music pieces. There's no composer. There's no score composer for the movie.
Weird.
Yeah, so they just kind of use just a whole bunch of classical music, either played live, diegetic, as a film nerd will say.
Yeah.
Or just kind of playing in the background as a score for the film. And a lot of them just kind of are from all over. They're not necessarily period specific. So there will be 20th century composers as well as ones from like the 19th century. And then there's also an Elton John song in there. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, but it's played on a harpsichord.
Yes.
And so that's all it is actually.
Okay. Wow. Nice. I guess you could say a similarity is the music lacks accuracy in both films.
Yeah, exactly.
And the scoring is odd in both films.
Yeah, and like over the top.
Definitely way overstated. Yeah, the scoring is. It almost felt like a bit in Wonder Woman at a certain point. Like Hans Zimmer was like, just having a good time, fucking with everybody. Yeah. Okay. Well, groovy. Should I talk about my movie now? Even though I've been talking about it the whole time, interrupting you constantly.
Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it.
Great. Feel free to interrupt or ask how things are spelled as I go.
Don't worry, I will.
I just want you to be involved, Mike. Okay, directed by Patty Jenkins. It's fun. We can call them Yorgy and Patty.
Isn't
that fun? So she directed this film. She directed the original as well. She's directing the third one, which is in production. Monster was her big break, as I said before. She wrote and directed it at AFI, the American Film Institute. Roger Ebert loves Monster.
So
big fan.
She was in film school at the time, you mean?
Well, no. So she was like a focus puller, aka first camera assistant or assistant camera in New York, I think.
Okay.
She did that for 10 years, and then she went to AFI as like an older adult. And I think you can do AFI. I'm not totally sure what their curriculum system is, but it's like a 2-year program. But they have shorter programs if you're like workshopping a project or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Similar to Sundance.
Yeah, right.
And I think that's where she just really like made Monster into a really good script. And then she was able to make it.
Radical.
And then she directed a bunch of TV commercials, music videos, and then like in the last 3 years has just totally gone to the tent pole, making shitloads of money, massive films, and she's like a total powerhouse, which is pretty cool. And she's got a lot of stuff coming out. So the actor who plays young Wonder Woman in the opening of the film. Her name's Lily Aspel, and apparently she did all of her own stunts.
Really? Doing like the
because,
jumping on the poles and stuff?
Yeah, because she was better than the I guess stunt performers who are kids is probably pretty dicey territory for like hiring somebody. Be like, hey, we need to hire a 12-year-old to fall off a horse. That's probably dicey territory. But I would assume she's like a gymnast and, has just like a general confidence and agility. But apparently she did all of her own stunts, which is kind of crazy.
Well, also, you can tell during those scenes that, the background is entirely CG.
Oh, yeah.
So she's jumping on like little poles that are probably like a foot off of the ground from like a green screen mattress.
Or less, like 5 inches.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of things that's fudged, I think. And then also the horse stuff, you could always tell that, there's a CG background and she's not really on a horse.
Yeah. Wow, Mike, you really take the fun out of it, don't you?
Well, yeah,
there isn't a horse there. That's a fake horse, Bob.
Yeah, basically I'm saying the stunt she was doing is no more than someone doing like a child's gymnastics class, but the tumbling, the tumbling unit.
Yeah,
you just do somersaults.
I used to tumble back in the day when I was like 10. Yeah.
I kind of had you pegged for a tumbler, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got to start somewhere.
And I think you still dabble in tumbling.
I tumble from time to time.
Yeah, sometimes you will just text me and say, Bobo took a tumble. Yeah. And there's a picture of you at the bottom of the stairs.
And I'm very hurt. I'm in agonizing pain. I'm asking Mike to phone me an ambulance, and he's going, that's funny. So unhelpful. Happens all the time. And and my nickname's Tumbleweed.
Yeah.
Because you're like, hey, can you come over here? And I'm like, yeah, I'll start rolling over. And then I just cartwheel all the way to Mike's house. Takes a fair amount of time.
To deliver the dubs that I requested.
Exactly, because Mike won't go to a weed store. He makes me go to a weed store because he thinks weed is still illegal in Canada, and it isn't, but he doesn't believe me.
I got to make Tumbleweed do the old roll and roll, where you roll me some weed and then roll me over the weed by rolling.
You don't smoke weed, do you?
No, I never really do, no.
Yeah, you don't? You seem like somebody who wouldn't be into it.
Yeah. I don't. I did it a couple of times way back in the day before it was legalized in Canada.
Yeah.
And it kind of I always just coughed a lot. And so that was extremely unpleasant. And then I got way too high and paranoid. And I would always watch the worst movie you're supposed to watch when you're getting high. I watched Event Horizon, The Mask.
Oh, geez.
Ernest Saves Christmas all in one night. And it was they were all equally horrifying. I may have already talked about this on the pod before.
No, I don't think you have.
Oh, okay.
This is new territory.
Yeah. And then one time I watched Le Jeté.
Really?
While I was very high. And that was a freaky film because it's a movie made out of... Yeah, it's great. We should actually cover it on the pod.
Well, and 12 Monkeys was based on that.
Yeah. But Le Jeté is a freaky film to watch when you're high because it's all still photographs.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're high, or as high as I was, the photographs are not still anymore.
Yeah, totally.
I remember there was a scene where the character's eyes were coming out of his face really slowly. And I was like, I don't remember this.
Yeah.
So I think I had done it too much. But now I just dabble in the edibles every once in a while because it's hey, sweet, a gummy bear.
Totally. Basically just eating candy. And there's a little fun perk that kicks in a little while later.
Yeah, but I find that I over snack. Also, so it's
right.
So it's kind of not really. Yeah, so I don't really ever do it. The last time I smoked anything, I think was in 2011.
The year of our Lord.
Yeah. And then the last time I I think we had an edible a month or two ago, but that was the first time in a long time. So
nice.
Anyway, yeah. What about you?
Stoner
Corner. Stoner Corner new segment.
Yeah, new segment, Stoner Corner, mini soda about weed. I just get antsed out too easily, so I avoid it. But I did smoke weed like 2 weeks ago. Went pretty well. Went pretty well. I have to say, I used to smoke it a whole bunch when I was a kid, but when it was illegal,
when you were a kid, when you were 6?
Well, no, like, I think the first time I smoked weed was in the 7th grade at the Halloween dance.
Oh, wow.
So I was dressed as an Oreo, rip-roaring high. My teacher asked me, "Are you high?" And I said, "No, I have something in my eyes."
What a
Both
visual.
eyes.
You dressed as an Oreo?
Yeah. And
do you
then
have a picture of this?
Okay. No, I have the costumes in my parents' basement, like rotting out. I made it out of foam.
Okay, that's funny.
I used a turkey cutter, cut out the 2 circles, bought suspenders, hot glued them to the foam, spray painted it black, called it a day.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. But that's the first time I got high, and it was terrifying, but also awesome.
Right.
And then I smoked a whole bunch of weed, and then I stopped because I would get paranoid. But I too snack. I'm like, I need like a family-sized bag of chips if I'm going to get high.
One time I double-fisted 2 different flavors of Charleston Chew. So I would have, I'd have a chocolate and a vanilla one in each hand and go and eat like Homer Simpson.
Yeah. If you and I were high together, it would be, instead of Margaritaville, it'd be Snackyville.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, but I could probably have a margarita at the same time.
Probably each polish off an entire veggie korma pizza from Panago.
Yes. Oh, you know me so well, Mike. I had a veggie korma last week, and I sent Mike a photo, and he just said, "Very nice."
Yeah, it was good. But also, that was inspired by me having a veggie korma.
That's right. But inspired by me talking about having a veggie korma.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Good.
But anyway, you were talking about the little girl doing her own stunts.
So basically, I guess I should talk about the film. So the film opens on a flashback of when Wonder Woman was a kid, and she's in Amazonas, or like their like invisible world that can't be seen, and they're doing a big old horse race. So it's a bunch of adults racing, and then a 12-year-old girl, and the 12-year-old wins. And it's like, no, she loses.
She loses because she cheats.
She cheats. That's right. So she cheats, and then there's like a lesson in that. I'm not sure how that lesson relates to the narrative of the film, but that's how the film opens. And then we cut to 1984.
Well, Bob.
What?
Frick. So the lesson relates to, because remember at the very end when, this is a spoiler also, so if you haven't seen Wonder Woman 84 and you care about the ending for whatever reason,
stop listening for maybe like a minute or two.
Watch the
2.5-hour film.
Yeah, watch the interminable film Wonder Woman 84. But Wonder Woman defeats the bad guy in this movie by monologuing at him.
With the truth lasso around his ankle.
Yeah, she monologues via the truth lasso, using him as like a microphone, and then going into a satellite. You'd think that's an implausible situation, but she also like uses the lasso to like ride the lightning, so to speak, like literally connecting to lightning and using it as like basically Spider-Man, which is pretty sweet.
I was going to say there's like a weird parallel to Spider-Man that I found upsetting. Like when DC is too close to Marvel or Marvel is too close to DC, I'm just like, why are these different universes? This is just stupid.
They should just be in the same movie. But anyway, she's monologuing at him about truth and all that stuff. So it's all about kind of being true to yourself. And so everybody kind of wishes, exactly. There's truth, there's integrity and truth. And that's like kind of her whole thing. That's her thing, so to speak. So she kind of tries to impart that to everybody in the world, I guess, at this point. And it works because everybody says, "I renounce my wish." And then everything goes back to normal somehow. So that's kind of, but also, as you were talking about the stunts, a similarity between both films, characters bail off a horse early on. Or multiple times, really.
That's right.
In the favorite, there's a lot of bailing.
And there's also like medieval sort of, or like ancient just things in both movies. Like very old technology is used in both films.
Yes.
It's crazy, like in Amazonas, they're so advanced, but they don't have digital technology. Just everything runs off of like joules, just like energy, which is kind of funny.
Well, that's the future for us, I think.
Really?
Well, yeah, I read about batteries that basically use crystals, but they contain like the smallest amount of nuclear energy in them. And so basically you could you never have to recharge your phone because there's like so much power condensed in this little crystal that's inside of your phone.
Like Iron Man's like thing in his chest pre-surgery.
It's pretty much that. So it's like that's actually kind of a technology of the future for us.
Wow.
But it seems so archaic because like they just use diamonds. That's dumb. And also because in comic books, it's always like, hey, I got this crazy crystal with this crazy rock and I put it in my glove and it makes me do cool stuff. Or
the MacGuffin.
I make wishes on it and it makes me do cool stuff. So
yeah. Well, speaking of that, so the film Wonder Woman 84, the narrative is they're all chasing after this rock, well, a stone.
Yeah.
That grants wishes. And it's been around through all of time. And the year's 1984. They're in D.C. Also, a fun fact, Gal Gadot's apartment was filmed in the Watergate complex.
Oh, wow.
Famously, the name of that complex was used in the scandal with Richard Nixon in the 70s.
Actually, I found two similarities between both movies, as you said that fact.
Holy mackerel, you're good at this.
Both feature a stone that grants wishes. In Wonder Woman, it's obvious, as you said. And then in the favorite, Emma Stone is in the movie. And she is, not a lot of people know this, but she's a genie.
What?
Yeah, she's a genie. She grants wishes.
Yeah.
And then both movies also take place in like a government headquarters, I guess.
Right. Yeah, actually, shit, that's great. Well, and another similarity. So, as Wonder Woman 84 goes on, we meet Kristen Wiig's character, we meet Gal Gadot, we meet Pedro Pascal, and Pedro Pascal's like a shyster. He like owns a company called Black Gold.
Yes.
And he's just a liar and a shyster and trying to make that money, but he's lying to everybody and profoundly unsuccessful. Then he finds the stone. Kristen Wiig and Gal Gadot work together at a museum, I guess.
The Smithsonian.
Artifacts. The Smithsonian.
I've been in one of the museums that they use.
Really?
Yeah, I've been to Washington.
You've been to D.C.? District of Columbia?
Yeah, I was there right after Trump got elected, I think.
Wow.
And it was cool. You could see the DC sniper on the roof of, well, not the DC sniper. I think that's a whole other thing. But there's a sniper on top of the White House.
Just like smoking a dart and walking
just like
around.
Hanging out, waiting to snipe somebody in case they got too close to our boy Trump.
Wow, that's fascinating that they feel the need to do that. I guess.
That was. I feel I would be interested to see what that sniper thinks like post January 6th, 2021.
Yeah.
If that sniper would go to be like, nah, you can have him. Like, but back then it was
all
job.
Yours.
Yeah. Also, another similarity between both movies. Both films feature over-the-top wigs.
Yep, that's
both
right.
Because it's the 80s, but then also one has like old-timey period piece, like the big flowing curly wigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Wonder Woman 84 has Kristen Wiig acting over the top.
Wow, you're really good at name parallels on this one.
Thank you, yeah.
I mean, I will say we hit the jackpot in terms of actor names that are also just literal physical things.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Stone, Wig.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Both movies have a actor who has a name of a thing that's very prominent in the other one.
That's right. Well, both films have gals, too. There's a lot of gals in the favorite. And we got Gal Gadot in Wonder Woman 84. So, like, holy shit.
Yeah, both films are very female focused, I guess. And it's like...
Yes, they are.
Lady co-workers battling.
Yes, absolutely. So anyways, Kristen Wiig and Gal Gadot work together at the Smithsonian. They're in charge of artifacts and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then this stone shows up. They can't find anything about it. They don't really understand what it is. And then Pedro Pascal shows up. He's a shyster. They realize it grants wishes. Kristen Wiig has a wish, and then makes the wish, I guess, and kind of becomes like a super powerful villain lady. Eventually becoming, spoiler alert, Cheetah. This is the first live action depiction of DC's villain Cheetah, which is just a, you could have just put Kristen Wiig in Cats. She would have fit right in, visually speaking.
Yeah, it was she looks like she's in Cats, in this movie.
Yeah, so she's like a feline villain. Another similarity. Not really, but Patty Jenkins, so they offered the role of Cheetah to none other than Emma Stone first.
Really?
And she turned it down.
Interesting. Yeah, in The Favorite, Kate Winslet was supposed to be Rachel Weisz's character, and then she turned it down.
Really? And then she became mayor of Easttown.
Yeah, which is a horse character, I believe. I've never seen the show, but I think she's some sort of horse superhero.
She's like a horse detective who vapes a lot and is dealing with the fallout of a divorce.
Yeah.
What a rough go.
Did you watch
that.
Mayor of Easttown? It sounds like you did.
I'm caught up, buddy. I'm waiting for the new episode tomorrow. I'm really enjoying it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's great. It's fun seeing British people play like coastal living people because the accents get pretty wacky.
Yes.
Like Newfoundlandian, sort of like, I'm not really sure what they're saying, but also they're trying really hard to sound like they live on the coast.
Yeah, they're like from Pennsylvania, right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so the year's 1984.
Oh wow! Setting the stage.
Okay. They have the stone. They're all wishing stuff. Pedro Pascal. I'm not exactly sure. I watched this movie in 2 sittings, and I'm a bit fuzzy on the first half because it was quite a while ago. He becomes the stone.
Yes.
Somehow, right? He just puts it inside of him, or what?
He just makes a wish to be the stone, and then the stone's like, sure. And then he just becomes the stone. I don't know.
Right. So he becomes the stone, but as a result, he has ailing health. Ding, ding, ding. Similarity to The Favorite. Olivia Colman's character has many health problems. She's got like crazy gout.
Oh yeah, I didn't even put that together, but yeah, they do have.
So there's some ailing health that they're both dealing with, but at the same time, they have ultimate power.
Yeah, well, the gout is caused by like excess, right? Like if you're eating a lot of rich foods, you get gout. So,
Gout Godot.
Yeah, nice.
I'm just clutching at straws here, Mike.
That's great. Sickness kind of caused by like, wanting too much or excess kind of thing. So good.
Yeah. And well, both films have superpowers. Hear me out. Okay. Wonder Woman has literal individual superpowers. She can lasso people. She can run very fast. She's not bulletproof, but her wristbands are.
Yeah.
Okay. And then she learns how to fly by the end of the movie. And she also learns a little something about herself.
She can also turn things invisible if she concentrates. Hence, don't you remember when they're in the jet and she makes the jet invisible? Because that's like, canonically, that's her vehicle. She has an invisible plane in the comics. And in this movie, they're like, well, we can't give her an invisible plane because that's stupid. Mm-hmm. So let's just make her make this plane invisible for a little bit. So it's a wink to the nerds.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Cool. Interesting. That was really good. Anyway, so
taking liberties with the source material, not unlike The Favorite.
So there you go. Yes. Very good.
Nice. Very organic similarities, I find.
Yeah, I got to say, we're really finding a flow.
Yeah, we're really finding a flow. You and me,
this is, it's just so fun playing with you, Mike. So superpowers. Gal Gadot has literal superpowers, and Olivia Colman is the queen. Her country is a superpower at the time.
Yeah.
The sun never sets on the English Empire, as they say. And so she has like the superpowers in that she could, if she had more, self-esteem and stuff, could make serious political decisions and
Yeah, and
impact
also like the
world.
prime minister is like has power, and then she's
Mhm.
the queen, so she has superpower.
Exactly. Okay, so yeah, he gets the stone, he becomes the stone, and then Gal Gadot wishes for one thing, and that is her long lost love, Chris Pine.
Yeah.
Chris Pine shows up, looking real cute, aka looking like a snack in this fun 80s outfit, real handsome guy running around, and he helps her basically stop Pedro Pascal from destroying the world, because basically the film is about the narcissism that we inherently have as a human race.
Right.
And that narcissism causes the destruction of the world, as everyone wishes for what they want, and that inherently conflicts with everyone else. The president wants more nukes. Russia wants more nukes.
Some random Irish guy just wants them lady dead.
Yeah, that was a really fun... I don't know why that was in the movie. That, like, restaurateur.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know why that was in the movie. Describes most scenes in the film, I'd say.
Yes.
Like, just the wishing for stuff.
Yeah.
That whole plot line, which is the plot line of the film.
Yeah, well, and I guess the next similarity would be both films have big wishes. Emma Stone wishes to climb back up to a higher position in society after she fell from grace because her dad was sold her or something.
Yeah.
And literally everyone in Wonder Woman 84 has a wish.
Yeah.
Even Chris Pine, and his wish is for Gal Gadot to move on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I got some similarities based on what you just said.
Say it, buddy.
Both films have characters that manipulate their way to the top. They like deception and power is a theme in both films.
Well, and I guess if I can piggyback on that, both films have somebody who's actually an official head of state being manipulated. So the president's being manipulated by Pedro Pascal.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And Olivia Colman's being manipulated by Rachel Weisz and Emma Stone.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess both kind of have a message of be careful what you wish for, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's literally kind of what the message of Wonder Woman seems like. And then in the favorite characters wish for power, and then they kind of are unhappy once they're at the top. Also, both kind of deal with the themes of or both kind of deal with the intersection of power and love. There's romance kind of intertwined in the favorite with the ascension of power for these characters. And then in Wonder Woman 84, Max Lord, the Trump-esque bad guy in the film, constantly forgets he has a son who he loves a lot and doesn't want to disappoint, but then goes ahead and just constantly disappoints his son. And then at the very end, his son kind of comes in as a deus ex machina a bit and says, "I love you, Daddy." And then I guess just the complete destruction of the planet is reversed.
Well, and Pedro Pascal fesses up.
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm a loser. I'm a bad guy."
Yeah.
And then the son's like, "I love you anyways, Daddy." And it's like, oh, there's some acceptance there. That's nice.
Yeah. Well, also in both movies, a character kind of is cursed by how their father acted.
Right.
Because Pedro Pascal's character, peed
the bed as a kid.
He peed the bed, yeah. So
got yelled at.
In a movie first, a character is kind of bullied or abused, and then they become a supervillain. I don't think I've ever seen a superhero villain origin story where that happened. So it was nice to see that for the first time. I'm being sarcastic. But then in the favorite, the Emma Stone's dad gambles her away, kind of, and she becomes a peasant.
Totally.
So yeah,
That's a
sins
really
of
good
the
one.
fathers.
Yes.
Classic theme.
So next similarity is so Pedro Pascal is a kid in the flashback pees the bed. One can only assume Olivia Newman's character peed the bed.
Yeah, that's right.
She's vomiting and shitting, and I'm sure peeing all over the place.
Her name is Olivia Colman. But you called her Olivia Newman, probably because your brain wanted you to say Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, jeez. I love Olivia Newton-John. Olivia Colman. So many Olivias in the film industry.
I know.
Anyways, yeah, one can only assume she pee-peed the bed.
One can assume.
Yes. Anyways, so some more facts about Wonder Woman 84. So this film has the golden armor of Asteria, which is like a huge wink to the fans. The Asteria armor is based on Wonder Woman in Kingdom Come, a graphic novel by Alex Ross. And so he said in an interview he's kind of pissed because he like designed the armor and like created the narrative for that armor. And then the movie just took it and he had absolutely no compensation for it. Which is kind of interesting. But also, so in Greek mythology, the Amazon warrior Asteria was slain by Heracles when he came to Themyscira to take Hippolyta's girdle as one of his famous labors.
Mm-hmm.
Asteria is also the name of the Greek goddess of the stars.
Okay.
So there's some fun. I would say like both films are based in historical text.
Right.
So, Wonder Woman has a lot of Greek reference and like mythological reference, which are from ancient text. And The Favorite is based on the life of some ancient people. And I'm sure, like there's source material like old books and historians and stuff.
Yeah. Also, like that golden armor thing, they introduced it in the movie by showing her battling with a bunch of dudes, just defending their Amazonian lair or whatever from all these guys using the armor. And it seems like there's kind of the movie has like a lot of, there's two female characters in the movie who are like the main characters. It seems like there's kind of a guys portrayed as sleazy in Wonder Woman quite a bit, with the exception of Chris Pine's character. Like all the guys that you ever see are just kind of weird creeps most of the time.
Yes.
Including Max Lord, the bad guy. And then I would say also in The Favorite, pretty much all of the men are real sleazeballs.
Totally. I guess, and another interesting thing is, I would say, both films have like a lot of romance and sexual tension and blah, 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 but neither have like this leering sort of misogynistic portrayal of such vibes. Exactly. Like I love, like in The Favorite, it's just so matter of fact. Like the sexuality is just like there, and it's not glamorized or like fetishized. It's in fact even like unarousing at times, and you're like, ooh, like what's going on here?
Yeah.
And I think, as best as it can, like Wonder Woman 84 is not. Patty Jenkins sort of handles the material better than, like you said before, like somebody like Joss Whedon.
Yeah, well, if you should actually go and try and find the Wonder Woman script that Joss Whedon wrote before the original Wonder Woman script was made.
Oh, really?
Yeah, supposedly it's very sexist, and there's a lot of kind of leering stuff in it.
Really?
Yeah, and then also he directed the first Justice League, as we talked about.
And there's more like it's noticeably the coverage and stuff is more sort of like sexualizing Gal Gadot.
Yeah, you really kind of get a lot of shots of the butt.
Right.
Whereas this movie, not a single butt shot.
Yeah, not really. Yeah. That's interesting.
Except for that one kind of random scene where Wonder Woman puts her butt to the camera and just farts right in the lens. And then it's really like...
Oh, the turlet shot. Yes. Turlet cam.
The lens, you can kind of see it getting misty, and like... Then you see the camera guy go... and like rub the lens just to get all that vapor off.
All the poo-poo gas.
Yeah, all the poo-poo gas, yeah. What a weird, random
that
scene.
Camera got pink eye. What the hell? Ay.
Gal. And then she puts her finger in her dimple and goes, I'm a little stinker. And they kept it in.
That's on that. Oh, yeah. Oh, geez. Wow. There's an extended cut of this movie with a lot more fart cam.
Yeah, in The Favorite, they use the fisheye lens. In Wonder Woman 84, they use the brown eye lens. You know what I'm saying?
Very good, very good.
Thank you.
Jeez. Wow, that's some good stuff there, Mike. You know what's fun? So at the end of the movie, the person who throws, or like the kid who throws the snowball and hits Gal Gadot is Gal Gadot's kid, which is kind of fun. A little cameo from the family. Also, this is kind of fun. So all of the makeup that Gal Gadot, that was used on Gal Gadot in the film was by Revlon.
Wow, very fascinating and fun.
Yeah, so I assume they wanted to do some cross promotion and sell some makeup that was Wonder Woman specific, but then maybe COVID fucked up the distribution and stuff of that.
Okay.
There's some cross promotion.
Yeah, and if you don't wear Revlon makeup, then you look like a badger, which is a thing that they say in The Favorite. In The Favorite, when she doesn't wear her makeup right, the one character says, "You look like a badger."
That's right. Oh, yeah. I got one more little fun fact. So the stone was created by Dolos, a god of evil and mischief, who is described as the Duke of Deception.
Mm-hmm.
And the Duke of Deception was a recurring villain in the original comic series in the early 40s for the Wonder Woman. So that's another little wink.
And also, that's Duke,
Duke is a position in British political hierarchy.
Yeah, and what's her face? Rachel Weisz's character is a duchess.
Right. That's right. And I'd say another similarity is both films have a lot of winking. So all the pseudo historians watching The Favorite, they're probably like, wow, there's some nice little details here, or even glaring, errors that were done deliberately just to make it a little more fun.
Yeah.
For the historian. And then in Wonder Woman, there's a lot of comic book nerdery that's just check it out. Pretty cool. We're
this nerd? You like you nerd?
Yeah. Yes. Just so degrading. Anyways, that's basically all I have for info on Wonder Woman 84. Another similarity, they were both shot on film.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I would have thought Wonder Woman is shot on digital or something.
No, they shot it on film.
Wow.
It was a very deliberate decision by Patty Jenkins and whoever the hell the DP was. Yeah.
Way to go, Patty.
Yeah. Patty, Yorgy, good filmmaking.
So, in both movies, one character who you thought was gone comes back kind of as a monster.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
so Rachel
right.
Weisz's character gets drugged and then falls off a horse, and then her face is all beaten up.
Yeah.
And she eventually comes back to the castle, and her face is all scarred, and everybody remarks about how she's kind of a monster. And then she wears this weird, kind of cool mask that looks...
She looks like a villain.
She kind of looks like a villain, yeah.
Yeah, like a superhero villain.
It's like an eye patch, but just to cover a giant scar on her face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then, what's Wonder Woman 84? Kristen Wiig's character comes back as a cheetah person.
Yeah.
Somehow. Oh, yeah, because she wishes to be an apex predator, and then in classic monkey paw situation, it's not the wish you kind of were hoping for.
Yes.
So but she seemed cool with it.
I think she was.
Yeah, I think she was like, you know what? I'm a furry now.
I can dance and I can sing.
Yeah.
And I'm in the film Cats with Sir Ian McKellen.
Do you think that Olivia Colman's character, because she had all those rabbits, she was a bit of a furry?
Definitely.
She kind of imagined herself as some sort of a rabbit?
Yeah.
Because Kristen Wiig's character was literally a furry in this movie. She was half an anthropomorphic cheetah. So
I guess you could say animals or animal, very specific animal, is sort of critical to a character in each film.
Yeah, that's right. Good.
Yeah. Well, in that bunny, when the foot's on the bunny and she's thinking about crushing it, and then Olivia Newton-John. Just kidding. Olivia Colman sees it. Yeah.
Also, both films have three characters as the main characters.
Yeah. A trifecta.
Titular
trifecta.
And two of them are gal for power.
I would say both films have a character, a powerful character who's extremely lonely.
Yeah, that's good.
So Gal Gadot's lonely because she's living in 1984. She's not with her people. Her man's dead.
Classic.
Right?
Just like
And-
Olivia Colman's kids.
Right.
All of her kids died. I don't know why I laughed. It's fine. It was a fake movie.
Yeah. Based on a real person. Mike, have some
I feel
empathy
bad.
for what's her name? Anne?
Yeah, I feel terrible for a royal person from 400 years ago who lived a life of decadence and excess.
Yes. Ate a lot of cake, vomited as well, a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Some pretty gross stuff going on with the feet and the shins.
Also, in the 80s, many would say a time of decadence and excess because it was like Reagan's reign, where the rich got richer and the poor got poorer.
Exactly. So Olivia Colman's character is lonely,
Yes.
and Gal Gadot's lonely. The
Sad.
titular Wonder Woman is wondering, where's Chris Pine?
She's pining for that Chris.
Exactly. Ooh.
And then she's like, I'm a bit hungry. I'm pining for that Ruth's Chris.
A little steak reference for all you meat eaters out there.
For the cup. Yeah. The canines are just
Lapping that up,
Slapping
that
their
raw
slap-
steak.
yeah.
You just chuck it in the backyard and the dogs go wild. They're
good
barking,
stuff.
they're chewing.
I would say all three characters
living it.
both movies are lonely characters.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
is that what you didn't say all three though? Did you? Did you?
No,
say
I just
one?
said the powerful ones.
the powerful ones. But I would actually argue that all three characters are lonely because
You just like making me look stupid.
no,
don't you, Mike?
it's a yes and.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, that sounds great.
I
Is
guess
Olivia Newton
more of a
John?
yes or? But
Yeah, yes or. Is Olivia Newton-John lonely in Greece?
yeah, that's why she hooks up with Danny.
Right. That's right. Anyways, I digress.
Also,
Continue.
Olivia Newton-John is in Greece. Olivia Colman in a movie with a song by Elton John is in a movie by a director from Greece. I feel like
Put
there's-
that on a t-shirt, am I right? Holy shit. You know what? That you could put in quotes. And
Yeah.
I'm quoting here with my fingers. That would be an appropriate quote.
Probably the most useless sentence ever spoken or attempted to be spoken. I tumbled through that one.
You verbally tumbled. I physically tumble.
Yeah.
Mike, phone an ambulance. I need to go to the hospital. And you need to go to a school and learn how to speak.
I need to learn how to speak.
Both films have like the trifecta sort of, they need each other in order to learn something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the only other one, the last one I had was both movies have characters walking around big ornate buildings filled with paintings and artifacts.
Wow, that
Like
is
fancy,
a good one.
old-timey
I'm really glad
artifacts.
we didn't miss it.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
that's
pretty much it
great.
because they're in a Smithsonian. There's all these old-timey paintings and artifacts, and then, obviously they're in a castle.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
That's
you
great,
go.
Mike. We were talking about steak earlier. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Eating steak. So if you had to rate these films in terms of rare, blue, rare, medium, well done, charred, black, how would you
Yes.
rate these two films?
Um.
And you decide which direction is good and bad.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because I think the typical idea is that a medium rare, kind of like that, the side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
The rarity spectrum is the good, and
Yep.
then charred is bad.
Okay,
like,
great.
You're like a steak noob if you have like a more cooked steak.
Well done, cook. Yeah. Or,
Yeah, you gotta eat. You gotta eat the flesh of the beast as if it was you just
Raw.
cut it up and decided to just eat the cow.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the favorite I'd say medium rare,
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, I'd say medium rare, and then Wonder Woman 84. Yeah, that's overcooked. That's like real black,
Just a big old slab of
charred meat.
burnt meat. Yeah. I agree. I echo that.
Yeah, I was
I-
not prepared for how bad Wonder Woman 84 was going to be.
I know, and it just kind of gets worse.
Yeah, I thought the first one was really good, and then the second movie I was like, woof, but not in like the canines like cheering for our podcast way.
Yeah,
Or
and
just-
they're like, ooh, this isn't too good. We should really change that because there's a double meaning there.
What do you
Well-
think? Canines, sound off online at our social media from Justin 2 Kane with a number 2.
Yeah, bark at us.
Yeah, bark at us.
Well, great. This is fun. Yeah, what a ride this has been. Hey, what a journey.
Yeah, we can end this episode, I feel like, because usually we kind of, our structure is, I mean, for the last year, our structure was we talk about the facts, we talk about the similarities, and then we kind of have, you know, a fun little whatever happens third part of the structure, which, you know, we'll call it the activity zone. Not the activity corner.
The zone.
No.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah, basically there's corners, which are like
Pods.
like sub pods or like little kind of segments.
Yeah.
And then zones. So we have like the facts zone. We have the similarity zone, I guess, or the whatever you want to call it. Clone zone.
Yes.
Yeah. And then when things get horny, the bone zone.
Yes.
So yeah, anyway, we kind of did the activity zone throughout just by kind of goofing.
Yeah. As Mike would say, this is our most chaotic episode yet.
I mean, generally, that's the goal, I think, though. I think we have to be more chaotic every time.
Yeah. I think we were chaotic.
A little bit, yeah. But we also kind of really, for the first time, got through most of the similarities
While talking.
in like organically while talking about the movies. So I think that's the dream. We're just slowly transitioning towards that kind of format, which I think
we're learning.
works.
We're still just little pups, you know?
Yeah,
we're little
exactly.
puppies. We haven't been adopted yet. We're still, you know, in the kennel with our mom.
Yeah.
And we're learning, you know? And soon we'll be dogs. We'll be at the dog park running around, grabbing a ball or a bone or a stick or jumping in a river and getting all muddy and getting yelled at by our owner. But we're not there yet. We're
No.
still little pups learning in the landscape that is podcasting.
We went on a walk the other day,
Yes.
me and my partner, to a dog park, which is
nice.
a fun place to just go for a casual stroll because
Did you feel
so many
at
cute
all
dogs.
ostracized because you didn't have a dog with you?
We did feel like weirdos because we were
'cause
not with
Did
dogs.
anyone ask you, where's your dog? And you said, I don't have a dog.
No, I didn't. No,
okay.
Nobody
I've
talked
had
to us.
that
We
happen.
also tried to stay away from people because we were the only ones wearing masks outside at a dog park.
Right.
Everybody
right,
else was just clumped together in groups talking as if there wasn't a pandemic happening.
Right.
And we were way too paranoid, so.
No, that's fair.
But some cute dogs. It was really fun.
Oh, yeah. I've done that a few times. It's a good time.
With or without dogs.
Well, I've done it with and without.
Oh,
But
you're
without's weird because sometimes people do ask, like, where's your dog? And it's like, I don't have one. And they're like, oh, why are you here?
Weren't we on a shoot and you were PAing it and some person, because we were shooting at a dog park, somebody was mad and they took it out on you?
Yo, yes. Yeah, we were shooting in a dog park and I was yelled at by many people.
Mm-hmm.
Dog owners at off-leash dog parks, when a TV show's trying to shoot, get very upset because they can't go down specific trails.
Yeah.
For like 2 minutes.
Yeah. My dog, who doesn't care and just wants to like run around like an idiot and chase after a little ball, is mad in my mind because I can't do this thing that I, a human, have like created as a ritual.
Yes.
That's kind of what's going through their minds.
It was emotionally taxing shooting at the dog park as a locations PA.
Yeah.
I'll say that much.
Yeah. And so
And I never want to do it again.
glad that you've moved up.
Me too, man. Me too. And I've shot in dog parks since then as a camera assistant and much smoother sailing. But then you got this problem. You're running like cables on the ground and there's dog doo-doo everywhere. That's upsetting. So you really don't win when you shoot at a dog park. Moral of the story is canines should stay away from film sets.
Yeah.
And film sets should stay away from canines.
Except for if we're ever shooting from Justin the Cane, the movie, and we have
That's right.
all of our canines, all 6 of them probably, as extras.
All 6 of them.
That
Seems like a generous figure, I think,
Yeah.
Mike.
And they all get to be extras because they won a contest that we advertise on their pod.
Yeah, yeah, and they were the only participants.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And the movie is just a very cinematically shot episode of this podcast.
Yes,
and it also features a special guest star Jar Binks.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, using ILM's like character model of Jar Binks, and Ahmed Best reprises the role. After
Poor
like
guy.
30 years of not being Jar Jar.
Poor guy. Oh, jeez, what a gig! What a gig!
So I'm currently reading a book about Star Wars history.
Yes. What's Star Wars?
Oh God!
Oh, I'm just kidding. You mean the Reagan initiative in the 80s?
Yeah. Well, they actually talk about that, about how Reagan had this thing, and then the Democrats were like called it Star Wars as a pejorative, but then Star Wars was cool at the time, so everybody just thought it sounded cool. So they just took the positive association that with Star Wars and attached it to Reagan's Star Wars thing.
Right.
And then so Reagan wasn't as unpopular during that time as the Democrats would have liked. So they learned from their mistakes.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm reading this book about Star Wars history, and I'm currently on the chapter about the Phantom Menace by coincidence.
Yes.
And fun fact, Jar Binks, as originally written in the first couple drafts of the script, he spoke very regally.
Oh, well, because he's royal.
Yeah. Yeah. And then as the script iterations went on, they made him kind of more of a cartoon character because George Lucas was worried the movie was too dark and boring for like children.
Right.
Because of all the trade negotiation stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they made him more of a cartoon character and less of, but there's like excerpts from the script in this book, and Jar Jar speaks like very, very regally.
That's awesome.
I'm currently on the chapter, so I could actually probably find it in like 5 seconds. Oh yeah, so here's a quote from Jar Binks in one of the original scripts. It says, the Gungans come to the planet's aid after an impassioned speech by Jar Jar. I have traveled far, muses Binks, as wise as solemn as Anakin. I have seen many wonders. We must become a part of the universe. In isolation, we will die. Jar Binks.
Wow.
So.
Wow. That line could have ended up in The Favorite. It would have fit perfectly, I think.
I know. It's funny to think of Jar Jar, our boy, as like this cartoon character when he could have been like a really dignified fellow.
Yeah. What a different movie it would have been.
Yeah. It's interesting just that George Lucas eventually is like, you know what? No, this guy needs to go, Misa's thinking you're gonna die? Bombad? Misa stepping Wampa Poodoo?
This is when a title card comes up and it says 3 hours later, and you're just still quoting from memory exact recall of dialogue from Jar Binks.
Love it.
Jeez. I love me some Jar Jar. I mean, Phantom Menace is coming up soon, people. Buckle up. It's going to happen.
It's on the docket for our Eppies.
It's on the docket. So it'll be happening in later season 1.
Anyway, you were trying to end the episode.
Yeah. I forget how I was going to do it. I think the Jar Jar stuff is really a nice little bit of icing on the cake.
Yeah, maybe we should end every episode with Jar Jar's Corner.
Yeah, that would be nice.
With some Jar Jar facts or
Jar
some
Jar's Bone Zone.
Yeah. and Jar Jar, it's like Jar Jar After Dark, the Bone Zone.
Jesus. All right, let's end this. Nobody wants to listen to this anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
I came here to listen to them talk about Wonder Woman, not Jar Jar boning.
You know you wanted it, canines. All right. Good luck with everything this week. Enjoy drinking water out of a metal dish on the ground, eating kibble out of a bowl on the ground, and lie in the sun and have some naps while your owners are at work.
Yeah, just like relax out there, canines.
Yeah, take it easy. Go to the dog park. Go up to Mike and his partner and be like, "Why are you here? Where's your dog?"
Yeah,
and
eat your own crap or the crap of another.
Yes. And if you have to go to the vet, best of luck.
Yeah, best of luck.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.